welcome back to my channel. I pre-planned this workout and included a 10-minute yoga freestyle warm-up. If you are not sure what to do in your freestyle yoga, flow between forward folds and downward dog to begin with. In each position, walk through your feet and move your gravity center from left to right to assess how you feel. Depending on your preference, you may want to add in chaturangas and upward dog. I don't like these, so have to force myself to add these in. A great way to add in more core work is to move from a knee to nose position to a three-legged dog. I have really tight shoulders and neck at the moment, so I was making sure to stretch these out a lot too. To get my legs and hips warm, I love to work through lunges and warriors. I do a short sun salutation, forward fold to plank, to chaturanga, to downward dog, followed by a kneeling lunge, then a full crescent lunge, a warrior one, which is with the back foot flat and turned out, but hips still aiming to face forwards. Then a warrior two with the hips and chest facing the side, and I add a peaceful warrior here too. There is a sun salutation in the middle of each of these. I find these bring my heart rate up and make me feel very warm. I dropped into a Yogi Squat to get into my hips. I'm trying to drive my knees forwards to get a stretch down my tight calves. From there, I moved on to glute activation. This glute activation circuit is done twice all the way through. The first exercise is dance mat taps. The hips and the knees face forwards throughout, and the song that was on when I started this was Eminem, Shake That Ass, which I highly recommend because it was just really fun to do. I performed 8 reps to the right, to the left, to the right back and the left back, then 4, 2 and 1 of each. Next, focusing on pushing against the band continuously and pushing through my heels to bring me up, I performed squats with 2 pulses at the bottom of the movement. I performed 15 to 20 of these. The next exercise wasn't in my glute activation video, but it is a banded glute bridge. It's very easy to rush these and simply pop up into the top position each time, so you need to focus on your glutes initiating the movement. I performed 10 reps of these, followed by 10 abductions at the top of the last bridge. I repeated this whole set twice.
further you go, I wanna know.
The workout is simply 3 exercises performed for 20 reps in round 1, 15 reps in round 2 and 10 reps in round 3. I'm using a 16 kilogram kettlebell for all 3 exercises, but you can do body weight, use household items or a concoction of resistance bands. With the Sumo Deadlifts, you need to be performing more of a hip hinge than a squat movement. Your hips pull backwards as far as you can and you allow your chest to lower. However, you do need to keep your lats engaged to stabilize your shoulders so that they don't round and droop forwards, and keep your core really tight to keep your back very straight. The front squats were my hardest exercise with this weight, and 20 reps was a struggle. I'm aiming for a more vertical movement, so obviously bending at the hips and the knees. It really needs to look different to a deadlift. My calves are quite tight, so to keep my heels down I do need to lean forwards. So squats definitely look different on everyone depending on lever length and how tight or loose you are, but as long as you are keeping your heels down and you are picturing your butt really squeezing to fire you back up to standing, then you're grand. Then it's Romanian deadlifts. These didn't feel too heavy to me, however my core was tired by this point, so I focused on keeping my corset, which in Pilates is your transverse abdominis, pulled in to support my back, and I used my lats to stabilize the shoulders and therefore the weight. Again, I'm bending from the hips and focusing on them driving backwards to get a big stretch in my hamstrings. I'm pushing into my heels and initiating the upward movement by squeezing my glutes. Although the rounds get shorter, because the first one is so long, especially with those squats, my heart rate is up throughout. The squats, I think, just really made this workout for me. But if you need to make this harder, you can perform the movements slower. This increases the time under tension. You can reduce rest periods between sets. Ideally you want to move from exercise to exercise quite quickly, although as you can tell I'm tired and really having to breathe through this. If you have no weight and increasing time under tension doesn't do it for you, you could start with 50 reps per exercise and perform more sets. You could do 50, 40, 30, 20 and 10 reps, which would be 5 rounds.
Feels like we're only talking, going round and around, back around. I will fight like no other every day. I won't stop like the others. I will stay. 'Cause now is the right time, and I'm feeling alright. I'm playing your game like I know I can win right now. It's a fun night. You got me on tonight, 'cause loving you is like I'm walking a tightrope so high. I won't be turning around. No, I won't be turning around. It's the right time.
Before I started my cool down, I added in single leg glute bridges. I have always loved training glutes and have been training them for years, but I've never actually loved these or never felt like I am good at these. So I figured that means I really need to do them more. I'm moving really slowly and ensuring that it is my glute that initiates this movement. My aim was 8 to 10 reps each side. I'm pretty sure I only did 8, and I did that for 3 sets, but you should do more or less depending on how hard you find these. If you love them, then obviously like go for 20 each side, but if you're just starting out, or they're just something that you don't really do, or you don't get a very good range of movement, then keep the reps low and really focus on getting good quality reps.
It's like I'm walking a tightrope so high. I won't be turning around. No, I won't be turning around. 'Cause you feeling alright. I'm playing a game like I will win tonight. Don't forget it. Don't forget it. Don't forget it. We'll turn this around. Don't forget it. Don't forget it. Don't forget it. We'll turn this around.
With another 10-minute timer, sort of freestyle stretch session. From a forward fold, I tried to relax my body as much as possible. When I do this, I feel like I can get the stretch under my shoulder blades as well as in my hamstrings and lower back. And when you wrap your arms around your legs, slightly bend your knees, then you can get a really good lower back stretch. In my straight arm cobra, I'm trying to get my hips to the floor as I bend a lot from my back and not from my hips. My quads are tight, so I spent a bit of time massaging them on the floor before moving into a simple stretch here for my quads. I'm focusing on tucking my hips under, so squeezing my glutes.
You're high when you fall down low. I hope I be your destination. You're far away and yet so close. Yeah, I feel that. Yeah.
Whilst prone, I practiced tucking my chin and lifting my head to strengthen my upper back before moving on to child's pose and cat-cows. Because I've been sitting a lot lately, and even though this was a leg focused workout, I needed to make my upper body feel good just because it's been really tight recently. If you have tight quads, I recommend this kneeling and leaning back. To feel this more, you just need to focus again on tucking your hips under. To help my hips and the internal rotation especially, I love doing this 90-90 stretch. This and that previous kneeling one can feel really uncomfortable at first, so you do have to be quite gentle.
You fall down low. I hope I be your destination. You're gone.
This is where my GoPro died, but I moved on to really simple leg drops. So this is also for internal rotation. I've got quite good external rotation, but I think one of the things that contributes to my tight hip flexors and tight quads is that my internal rotation is quite bad. So those were just really simple leg drops. And then this sort of stacked 90-90 position, sort of legs crossed, but one right on top of the other, is quite a intense glute stretch. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next video, and until then, stay happy and healthy. Bye.